Alrighty, y'all. Hello. Brace yourself because we're looking at some Americans that, well, as you've heard me say many times before, cannot seem to burst out of this giant American bubble. Yes, myself and many Americans nowadays are, open to a more broad view and learning of other cultures, other countries, and, well, quite frankly, the rest of the world. But unfortunately, there are some who are America all the way, baby, and think we can do no wrong and think the earth looks like this. Yes, let's dive into some good old American ignorance. Strap in. All right, so first up, this American comes to us from Reddit/Royals Gossip. Should be a keyword there, Royals Gossip. Princess of Wales in remission from cancer. And the American boldly says, that's neat. But I can't be asked. Oh, God, this is starting out great. I can't be asked when there's thousands of people being denied coverage at the same time. This is in the UK, leveled up. Correct. As an American, I don't give a single about a UK royal going into remission, LOL. I'm really glad that you love the taste of boot, though. Really happy for you. Woo. Oh, boy. Where do we start here? For not giving a single... They commented twice. They wrote multiple lines of dialogue here. So I find that a little bit interesting. And, of course, the ignorance is off the charts. By the way, this is titled, Why Are You in This Specific Sub Then? And yeah, I'd have to agree. They're in a sub called Royals Gossip. Clearly, that is not about the U.S., right? Again, what are they doing in there if they're so against it, if they're so not into this type of thing? Everything they're doing just doesn't make sense. All right, now this one's good. We have another one on Reddit/Random Thoughts, which reaches the world. It's not a default American Reddit. It's just for anyone. Who is the most hated person on Earth? Now, if you're a keen listener, you would have heard a clue. Earth, which means everybody. And, of course, we have the American responding, Gavin Newsom. Now, most people watching this might not even know who that is, because I could tell you right now, I can barely name presidents of any other country, let alone, multiple levels down in politician world, right? I couldn't tell you regional or state governors or whatever that equal position would be in random places, right? Random regions or states of Italy or Germany or France. Sorry, I don't know that stuff. Just like I wouldn't expect anyone from any other continent to know governors of U.S. states. At the end of the day, this is just silly, but it just shows the American bubble that who's the most hated person on earth? Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. As you can see, they had their measly one-up vote, which was presumably themselves. Because, as you see in the comments, can I be the first to say, who? Had to look him up, governor of California. There you go. Is he the most hated person in California? I don't know. Maybe. But I can tell you what, it's a pretty odd move to put him under one of the most hated people on earth, but at the same time, put him on a world pedestal as if everyone thinks about Gavin Newsom all day long. Yeah, that's not a thing. Sorry. This one's titled Normal American Numbers. Here we go. Why don't they use normal American numbers on their clocks like the rest of the world? There's another one. Can someone please explain how Dutch people tell the time when all the clocks have those strange lines? How dare you, Dutch, be not thinking of the rest of the world, a.k.a. thinking of Americans. How dare you not use American numbers on your clock? Obviously, they presumably got roasted in the comments, to which they actually replied, for all the people saying I'm satire or sarcastic, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Crying face. Never knew how drastically different things would be in the Netherlands when compared to the U.S. Well, yeah, the Netherlands is pretty far away from the U.S., and it's a totally different country. So guess what? They got their own way of doing things, and we have ours. And you know what's funny, too? First of all, American numbers is not a thing. That's just hilarious. But second of all, why would they use American numbers? It's not America. It's the Netherlands. Also, guess what? We have these in the U.S. as well. Clearly, they haven't been looking up from their phone when they're walking on the sidewalk, because there are plenty of clocks that have this style, right? This is a very older style. And you're, presumably once you're over the age of, 10 or something, you can tell what time it is by looking and counting the notches if you're so inclined. The ignorance meter is just off the charts. But it really makes for some good laughs, I gotta admit. Yes, I love my American numbers, way better than those Arabian numerals all those libs keep talking about. This is new. Now they can't read an analog clock. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is hilarious. I had an American car, Chrysler. They're pretty American, right? My family's, we've had a lot of Chryslers, actually. Chrysler 200, Chrysler 300, my parents had. The list goes on. And guess what? I'll show a picture on screen. I guess they had one of those arrogant Dutch clocks in them. Or they just had a regular analog clock in an American car. I'm trying to think of what this guy would think if he saw that, right? In America, in an American car with that style clock. His poor little mind would be blown. Now, I find the spelling thing pretty interesting. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it's just that. I think it's interesting. It's fun to learn different things. But of course, other Americans love to correct the rest of the world when it comes to this type of thing. English is wide spoken in a lot of different countries throughout the world, but there could be some differences, right? Different slang, different words, different pronunciation, different spelling. Well, that can be hard to comprehend for some people. So here we go. What kind of coloration is that? The American, of course, corrects the original poster. Coloration. There's no U in there. It is correct by UK/Aus English. Well, I speak American, so I wouldn't know. And predictably so, downvoted into oblivion, ratioed very hard. Look, if you don't agree with the way the rest of the world spells it, well, that would be on brand America right there. But, you could think that, right? I myself would have to really adjust if I was expected to spell it like this. I also spell it like this. I just realized that the rest of the world doesn't, and correcting them on how to spell it when they have been speaking the language, especially in the UK, a lot longer, think English, England. I think there's a correlation somewhere in there. Yeah, I think correcting them is just kind of a weird move. Of course they wouldn't know. The world starts and ends with them. That's right, yes. The U.S. is the beginning and the end of the earth. We cover it all. Oh, now this one is good. This one is good. It's about a beautiful place, by the way. But someone, of course, mistaked it very on brand. Again, let's just say. This one's titled, Georgia is pretty far from Atlanta. Now, of course, we have a U.S. state called Georgia here. Very famous big city called Atlanta, which is in the state of Georgia. Well, unfortunately, a lot of people here in the U.S. Might not know that there is a beautiful country called Georgia as well. And it's way far away, right? It's in far Eastern Europe. I actually think it's over the line. I think it might be considered Asian. You guys can kind of duke it out in the comments, but you get my point. I know whereabouts it is. It's definitely, its own country and not the state we have. But as you can see, that's hard to comprehend, again, for the American in the comments. When your taste is Switzerland, but your budget is Georgia, and they feature a beautiful screenshot of mountains and clouds. I have seen pictures of Georgia before, and it looks like a phenomenal place. The landscapes are pretty grand. But the American girl says, that ain't Georgia. How far from Atlanta? About 20 hours via plane with connections, most likely in Paris or Istanbul. This is Georgia, the country, not the state. What gets me is the all caps. The all caps, right? And ratioed. I'm surprised I got 5 hearts. I really am. But either way, look at the ratio, right? So confidently ignorant with this all caps comment. Even most Swiss people don't have Switzerland budget. Georgia is very nice as well. Definitely worth a visit. That's what I've heard. I've heard it's really pretty. Switzerland is obviously gorgeous as well, but I have heard, by the way, Switzerland is very, very expensive. Now, there's no doubt that we have some pretty competitive and great sports here in the U.S. Now, although most countries do as well. But, I think we hold our own, right? We have some crazy sports moments, some history. We have, pretty good record when it comes to getting medals at the Olympics and stuff like that. But one of our pastimes, unfortunately, is claiming other athletes as our own. Now, I'm sure you've heard of cases like this before. This even trickles down into social media comments. Would you be surprised? So it shows, some highlights of some run, 100-meter run, whatever it was. Go USA, we have some of the best runners in the world. And someone corrects them. Unfortunately, she is not American. She is Jamaican. Yeah, that is just so uniquely American to point out. Whoever won clearly had to be American. Yeah, I'd get the runs on American Diet too. Because I actually corrected it when I said it, but they actually wrote some of the best runs in the world. I should be reading it the default way it is, because I think all of these people don't even know how to write. They don't know how to construct a proper sentence, right? The words are just all over the place. And I did miss this part at the beginning. It's Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, a Jamaican runner, winning a 50-yard sprint. So there's a correction of who it is. And, of course, by the way, not from the U.S. Well, this one is, of course, off the scale again. Commenter assumes that a young adult that lives in Germany that is 18 years old will not be able to buy a beer. Does this qualify as U.S. defaultism? Yeah, I think it does. This is a screenshot. Keep in mind, big context clue here. This is from Reddit/AskAGerman. Could not be more clear, right? And people are going back and forth about the topic, which had to do with, is it considered a shame to live with your parents as a young adult, blah, blah, blah. And someone, which exposed themselves as American clearly, commented, "Are you really an adult at 18, though? I mean, yeah, you can go to war, but you can't even buy a beer." And they commented this on Ask a German. And people should know that the U.S. is kind of in a league of its own when it comes to you have to wait till you're 21 to buy a beer, when literally all the countries around us, and of course spread across the map, most countries, 16, 18, 17, whatever, you could drink a lot earlier than you can here in the U.S. To say that on, one of the beer capitals of the world, Ask a German, right? Just come on, man. You're giving us a bad name. Now, this one is pretty funny. This even extends into video game discussion, and that's kind of a rabbit hole that's kind of fun to go down as an American. I would like to kind of do it for video because a lot of video games aren't actually American. They might be famous here, but they're not based here. They weren't developed here, whatever, right? This one is about pretty famous, series of racing games. Forza Horizon, actually, in this case. Check this out. Car game, America, yes. So, first of all, if it's a car game, it must be American. Right? That's, I guess, how some people think, including this person. Am I the only one that notices the videos drives on the left? So we're talking about driving on the left side of the road. Forza is American. Also, I don't remember. Also, I don't remember. So, again, people just not knowing how to speak anymore. It's kind of sad. Also, I don't remember the game having this high realistic graphics. Wow, this is like, reading this is hurting my head. Forza 4 was set in the UK. They drive on the left. And if you'll remember, Forza Horizon 3 was set in Australia. So that would have been 2 games in a row while they're driving on the left. An obvious correction to the ignorant person that said, why are they driving on the left? Forza's an American game. Now, of course, what will blow their mind further is Playground Games Limited is a British video game developer based in Leamington Spa, England. It is known for developing the Forza Horizon series, which is part of the larger Forza franchise. Literally 3 clicks on Wikipedia. They are going to lose their shit when they find out about GTA. That's true. That's true. GTA again, Rockstar Games. Last time I checked. Yup. They're from the UK. Is it Scotland or England? I can't remember. You guys can tell me. But I know they're not from here. Oh boy, is this a good one. Strap in for this one. Buckle up. Here we go. Everyone around the world experiences the same time of day. Did you know that? Drake makes music for people who follow billionaire mindset accounts on here. You tweeted this at 5 a.m. in the morning. He certainly has a hold over you. I'm in the UK. 5 a.m. is 5 a.m. Don't embarrass yourself any further. He still lives rent-free in your mind. And we have the all caps, too. Oh, man. That's too good. I'm just going to leave it alone. This comment sums it up perfectly. How can't Americans understand time zones when they live in a country with time zones? I mean, literally, in the main 48, right, you have literally 4 time zones. You have Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific, right? Like, this is plastered all over billboards, all over, commercials. When people find out, when their favorite show airs, or when this movie starts, or when this game is, when's the Super Bowl on, these things say, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, or they might say 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right? Like, this is a thing here. It's very relevant in the U.S. Not to mention Alaska's even further behind in the time zones. Hawaii's way behind, right? This is just in the U.S. But let me guess, do they maybe think, if they understand that, which I think some of these people might not, but if they understand that, maybe they think that we're the only country with time zones. And everywhere else is just 1 hour. Like, whatever it is, they're ahead. So if it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast, which would be the furthest ahead in the U.S., then it must be 8 o'clock in the rest of the world. I don't know. I'm trying to think like they think, and it's hard. Because 5 a.m. is 5 a.m. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. This one is absolutely hilarious as well. I'll give you some context in case it doesn't appear right away. So pretty much everyone around the world knows, famous, pretty tasty treat called a Kinder Surprise, right? It's a fun, cute little treat, especially popular with the kiddos, right? And, these are actually outlawed in the U.S. because they're dangerous. So we have a modified version called a Kinder, I don't even know, honestly, what it's called, but I think it's called a Kinder Joy. I could be wrong. But anyway, it's a safer version, supposedly. And we don't have Kinder Surprise eggs unless you know where to look. Certain stores still carry them. But anyway, yeah, gotta love this. So this American must have been on a trip. They were in the UK. And can someone please tell me why British grocery stores sell this dangerous candy if it's illegal almost everywhere? I'm so confused. Well, it's illegal in the U.S. When did you hear it was illegal, almost everywhere? I've never heard that. I've only heard that it was famously illegal only in the U.S. Illegal almost everywhere. If it's illegal here, it must be illegal everywhere because everyone loves following in our footsteps to the T. Right, guys? Right? Oh, boy. This one might take the cake. All right, take a look at this comment section. I know hemispheres are hard to comprehend again, but here we go. No words. Is it really that hot, even in winter in Australia? Another reason never to visit. Ha ha ha. Australia is a part of the southern hemisphere. It's actually summer right now. So let me explain that for people that don't get it. Right now it's winter right here in the U.S. That means it's actually summer in Australia and a lot of other places in the southern hemisphere, okay? But isn't America like in the middle of the earth? So like the middle hemisphere. So everywhere else copies. I'm so confused. Oh my God. I have no words. I'm sorry. Now, as always, I could go on forever with these. They're absolutely hilarious and very educational too. But I'm going to end it with this one. This one has a reply that is pretty golden. Like in the nature of how they replied, it's, well, let me just show you. Okay. I don't know what the whole conversation was, but an American, of course, said, hey, just a heads up, you probably shouldn't call yourself Indian if you aren't indigenous. Okay. So, of course, they're thinking only within the borders of the U.S., right? Only indigenous Native Americans here in the U.S. are allowed to be called Indians, not somewhere from, someone from India. Yes, this person answered with a map, red outlining the country of India. Bravo. That's going to do it for this one. I hope you got a laugh out of that. Maybe you got embarrassed. Maybe you got humiliated. Maybe you're crying, laughing. Maybe you spit out your coffee or tea. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I hope you enjoyed that and learned something new. I promise not all Americans are like this, but there's certainly enough to make some noise. And boy, oh boy, is it something to see. It is a sight to see. Giving us a bad name out there. What can I do? I'm just here to shed some light on it and grow from it, hopefully. I appreciate you watching. I hope you're having a good week so far, and I hope to see you in the next one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. I'll catch you later.